Ifeoma and Amara were the best of friends in Atobo, a rich traditional African community in the western part of the village. Akubo. They went out together, and even after Ifeoma got married to Emeka, they continued staying friends. Amara lived with Ifeoma and never thought of returning home again. One beautiful day Ifeoma wasn't at home. Amara took the initiative and lured Emeka to bed with her. Ifeoma returned and caught them red-handed. Then Amara unrepentantly ran out. Emeka stood, sweat slicking his skin despite the cool night air, his posture rigid with a fear he couldn't mask. Opposite him, Ifeoma's eyes, usually warm and bright, blazed with a hurt that cut deeper than any physical wound. In her trembling hand, she clutched a crumpled piece of cloth. Amara's scarf, found tucked into Emeka's pocket. This is Amara's scarf, Ifeoma whispered, her voice barely audible over the drumming rain. In your pocket, you with my best friend, Emeka stammered, his eyes darting away. Ifeoma, listen, it's not what you think. She was upset. She dropped it. I was returning it. A hollow, broken laugh escaped Ifeoma's lips. Returning it? After I saw you, Emeka. After I saw you on our matrimonial bed making out. You dare lie to me? His face hardened, a mask of defiance slipping into place. You're mistaken. You saw nothing. Ifeoma stepped closer, her voice rising with each word. I saw everything. You have defiled our marriage, our friendship, our very community. This is an abomination. The argument escalated, a whirlwind of accusations and denials, a tempest that shook the very foundations of their home. Emeka, cornered and desperate, saw a flicker of panic in Ifeoma's eyes. He lunged, a sudden, brutal movement. A heavy plank crashed against her skull. Ifeoma crumpled to the earthen floor, her life extinguished in an instant. What have I done? Emeka gasped, his hands shaking, his mind reeling. He stared at her lifeless form, the rain washing the blood away, and a cold, sharp fear gripped him. He couldn't let anyone know. He had to hide her, bury her, erase the evidence. The old disused graveyard at the back of his home, half filled with earth, became his grim solution. Days turned into nights, each one a torment for Emeka. He tried to maintain a facade of normalcy, but the guilt gnawed at him, a relentless beast tearing at his soul. Yet still with Amara, the very sight of her never reminded him of his crime. But Ifeoma, or what was left of her, refused to stay silent. No, leave me alone, he'd mutter, waking in a cold sweat. Whenever he's alone, her living moments, their being together, marriage and her death, all became his constant companions. He would see her shadow flickering in the corners of his eyes, hear her mournful cries in the wind. It's just my imagination, he'd tell himself, his voice shaking. She's gone. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent, a constant reminder of his terrible deed. Meanwhile, the villagers, sensing Emeka's unease, began to murmur. Ifeoma's sudden disappearance was too convenient, too sudden. Elder Okoro, Mama Eber, and Chidi, Ifeoma's cousin, shared their suspicions, their voices heavy with concern. They had noticed Emeka's strange behavior, his avoidance of their eyes, his late night sneaking into the old graveyard. Amara, initially relieved at Ifeoma's disappearance, began to feel the weight of her complicity. Emeka's erratic behavior, his haunted eyes, filled her with dread. He's losing his mind, she whispered to herself, pacing her house. He'll implicate me. She had believed his promises, his assurances that they would be together. But now, she saw the truth. He was capable of anything. I should have never trusted him. The villagers, led by Elder Okoro, confronted Emeka. They found the disturbed earth in the graveyard, the faint scent of decay. Emeka, his mind fractured by guilt and fear, finally broke. I killed her, he sobbed, his voice hoarse. I buried her. She caught us, Emmy and Amara. He confessed everything, the affair, the argument, the brutal act of murder. He pointed to the disused well. Elder Okoro turned to Amara, his face grin. Amara, is this true? Amara, her face ashen, could only nod, her body trembling. The villagers exhumed Ifeoma's body. The community, outraged, and heartbroken, enacted their own form of justice. Emeka and Amara, their sins laid bare, were banished from the village, their names forever cursed. "Let this be a lesson," Elder Okoro said, his voice heavy. "Let no one defile the sanctity of marriage, the bonds of friendship. Let the earth remember the whispers of Ifeoma, and let her spirit find peace." The rising sun cast long shadows across the village square, a stark reminder of the darkness that had consumed it.